Bienvenidos! Welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. Today we are making the most delicious stuffed mushrooms with tuna and manchego cheese. Guys, mushrooms are never going to be the same again. This is mushroom heaven. We're talking an insane amount of flavor, pretty much effortless to put together and done in about 30 minutes. This is where simplicity meets extraordinary. Now to make this recipe, I'm going to be using a sweet smoked Spanish paprika. This one was sent to me from latienda.com to try out here on Spain on a Fork. Now latienda.com is an online store based out of Virginia in the United States of America, and they focus on selling Spanish products like ingredients, cookware, and other stuff. Go check them out. Truly an amazing store. It's like a little piece of Spain in the United States. Anyway, the paprika they sent me, this one's from La Dalia. I'm using the sweet version. This one's from La Vera region in Extremadura, Spain. Guys, it does not get more authentic or better than this. This is going to give these mushrooms a beautiful flavor of sweetness and smokiness, and you just bring everything together. You guys will find a link in the description box below where you guys can get the sweet smoked Spanish paprika directly from latienda.com. Okay guys, we're going to begin by grabbing 2 tins of Spanish tuna in olive oil. What we want to do is remove the olive oil from the tuna. The easiest and cleanest way to do this is add the tuna into a sieve with a bowl underneath and mix the tuna around. And the secret here is you don't want to overmix the tuna, otherwise it's going to dry up. Once you've drained the oil from the tuna, add it into a large bowl. For the next step, I've got a beautiful block here of queso manchego. This is the mild kind, but you can use whichever one that you like. I just like to use the mild one because it's not overpowering. I'm going to shred about 1 cup of this and add it into the bowl with the tuna. I always like to put my shredder inside of a bowl and then shred the cheese. Why? Because it makes it a lot easier and a lot cleaner. Next up, we're going to finely chop a handful of some fresh parsley, and then we're going to add it into the bowl with the tuna and the cheese. This is going to roughly equal about 1/4 cup of freshly chopped parsley. For the final step of our stuffing, let's add in a generous teaspoon of some garlic powder and a generous teaspoon of some onion powder. And let's mix this together until everything's perfectly combined. Okay guys, for the next step of the recipe, I've got 9 extra large button mushrooms here. You want to use the extra large ones, that way you can really stuff the mushrooms with that stuffing. I'm going to remove the cap from each one, rinse them under some cold running water, and then pat them completely dry with some paper towels. Remember guys, as you are drying your mushrooms, be gentle with them. They're very fragile. And also make sure you remove any of that excess dirt that's in the mushrooms. Before we start stuffing our mushrooms, I'm going to run a butter knife through the inside of the mushrooms. This is just to make the hole a little bit bigger so we can add more stuffing into them. Now we're going to add our mushrooms into a baking tray lined with some parchment paper. Drizzle the mushrooms with a kiss of extra virgin olive oil. Just a little bit, you don't want to add too much. And season the mushrooms with some sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. Now we're going to start stuffing our mushrooms with our stuffing. Just push down on it, that way we can add as much as possible. Okay guys, for the last step, we're going to grab some of this sweet smoked Spanish paprika and sprinkle a generous portion on top of each mushroom. Okay guys, let's start cooking our stuffed mushrooms. I've got my oven preheated in the bacon broil option, that is the bottom heat and the top heat, 250 degrees Celsius, which is about 475 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna leave our mushrooms in the oven between 9 to 11 minutes. Now I'm going to grab a couple of the mushrooms, add them to a dish for presentation. And we'll sprinkle the dish with some freshly chopped parsley. All right, here we go. Wow, simply wow, guys. It's an explosion of flavors. This is so good. These are the best stuffed mushrooms I've ever had in my life. The mushrooms have a beautiful texture to them. They're fully cooked through, but they still have a little texture to them. They're not falling apart. Then the flavors, the tuna, the queso manchego, and that sweet smoked Spanish pepper, that just brings it all together. Truly insanely delicious. So easy to make. Before I go, I'd like to thank the folks over at latienda.com for sending me that sweet smoked Spanish pepper. It is an absolute stunner. It is so good. It is what makes these mushrooms, takes them to the next level. Again, guys, link in the description box below where you guys can get that. And also, before I go, I'd like to thank my newest patron, Jesper Haloon. Thank you so much for becoming a part of Spain on a Fork. Guys, if you guys would like to support Spain on a Fork, it helps me with the equipment, buying ingredients to continue making recipes and videos like this. You'll find a link in the description box below. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego.